A few months back, my girlfriend and we were bored and hanging around the house and spontaneously decided to go out for a hike. We don't go hiking often, but the idea appealed to both of us, and even though there was only about an hour left of light, we figured that we had enough time to go enjoy a hike before it got too dark. We quickly fill up our water bottles and put on the best walking shoes we had, and we were out the door quickly, driving up into the mountains. Around my area, there are many hiking trails, with the variety of trails increasing as you go up into the mountains. We tended to stay around the base of the mountains in the occasional case of us hiking, where most people would still be walking, but we wanted to change things up and progress further up the mountain road into a trail a friend of mine had mentioned. We kept in mind our time and figured that we could hike for a bit and simply enjoy the new environment for us and finish up before it was too late. So, we arrived at the trailhead and see that there were no cars left along the road where the trail commences, but I didn't think much of it due to the time. We still had a good 45 minutes until dark, so we just continued on. We start walking down a fairly steep hill that then recoups the elevation at the bottom with an equally steep hill that you have to ascend. We reach the top and then it's smooth sailing from there. We see a lone coyote off of the trail a ways off and some rabbits, and I made a quip about how those rabbits might need to be careful with that coyote lurking around. She playfully hit me for that one. Approximately less than a mile into the trail, we see a large fallen tree that made a bridge over a dried riverbed and decided to take a rest, climb around on it and take some pictures. We're there for about 10 minutes and then just resume hiking. We continue on the trail for a short distance until she hears a rustle in the trees behind us. We stop, mildly spooked due to the assumed size of whatever made that rustling, but continue on briefly before she decides that she's done and that we need to head back. It's twilight now, so I agree with her and we turn around to head back to the car. When we made it back to the fallen tree, my shoe had come untied, so I used the trunk to fix my loose laces and look behind us for the first time on the hike. Uncharacteristic for me, but hey, I was having fun, so why be paranoid? But I see a person dressed entirely in black with their hood on that was a significant distance behind us, walking at a slow, even pace. It wasn't something totally out of the ordinary. I mean, so what if they're wearing black with their hood on, right? I wear black most of the time too, and it is cold out. I shouldn't make too many assumptions. This does trigger me to be more alert, however, and I inform my girlfriend of this person's presence. It's now dusk, and we continue on at an intentionally faster pace and go through a winding section of the trail, and I lose sight of the person. When we come around the final bend of the section, I figure they're far behind us and that there's nothing to worry about, and I'm just being a bit paranoid. But soon, the person is behind us again, but much closer this time too. Probably 50 feet in comparison to 100 feet before, and we had increased our speed, so this definitely alarmed us. We briskly walk around another bend, and as soon as we come around it, we book it. It seemed to be a natural reaction on both of our parts as we just started running without a word said to initiate it. We're nearing the trailhead now with only the hills to deal with, and we catch our breaths for a moment and I turn around again. And I see the person seemingly halt a sprint upon noticing me looking back, as if they were trying to uphold the illusion of simply walking. At this point, I shout go and we sprint down the hill. What little light was left struggled to make its way through the dense trees surrounding us, and the steep hill proved challenging to run down without a clear path to be seen. We stumbled down the hill, almost falling multiple times and slamming our feet onto rocks and loose brush, but we didn't fall and we didn't look behind us. We make it to the bottom, but have to continue up the initial hill and then we will have made it out. We persevere up the incline and finally make it back to our car. I briefly breathe in a sigh of relief as I start my car, heart pounding and adrenaline racing. As I reverse onto the road, the person emerges at the trailhead, apparently breathing heavily too. We finally get a good glimpse of him too. His hood had fallen off of his head, exposing his pale complexion and dead eyes that were only illuminated by a single lantern at the start of the trail. He was also holding something in his hand, but it was too dark to see, and if I'm being honest, I was not interested in sticking around to make out what that object was. I shift into drive and accelerate as fast as my car could muster, leaving him behind in the dust of the empty side of the road.